So I thought we would talk really quickly about why in the past I started off using these milk jugs for water, for a water storage, and I've advised people to get away from them. I'm a cheap guy, and I like to save a few bucks where I can, and these are food grade containers because they originally had something that was approved for you to eat or drink in the first place. So they should be okay for storing water, but here's my issue with milk jugs. As you can see, I'm squeezing this one, no leaks, no bubbles. This one, that one's got a little pinhole in it. Now, this hasn't been getting kicked around or anything. This just sat on a shelf. And just the temperature changes apparently were enough to cause this plastic to bow and swell until we opened up a little pinhole right here. This one, if you can't tell from condition, has leaked quite a bit more. It's still leaking right there on my bench, so we're going to take that off before it makes a bigger mess. And this one is completely empty. This was a full jug sitting on a shelf. I can see a pinhole right here. I see another one up here towards the top. And again, this is just really thermal expansion wreaking havoc on these thin plastic containers. They're not meant for long-term storage. They're really only meant to keep a gallon of milk that's not going to see a severe temperature swing from getting disturbed. Now, on the other hand, that is a whole rack full of 2-liter Coke bottles mostly. Towards the bottom, I've got some juice bottles that are fairly thick plastic. I got a little pack of water down in there. And every one of those that I've gone through, and some of these have been up here for 6 or 7 months, they haven't experienced any pinholes. There hasn't been any loss of water, any loss of seal. All that is still sealed up and still working just fine. So, chalk this one up to live and learn from my experience. Not all of us have the financial funds to go out and buy, a whole bunch of large commercial containers for storing water, but you can you can look like a cheapskate and beg your neighbors to save Coke bottles for you and make this work. And I mean, it doesn't take a lot of time. Just rinse them out, clean them out really good with some hot soapy water, fill them up with tap water right out of the tap. It's got just enough chlorine in it to keep bacteria and everything from growing, and you can seal it up and shelf it. But do not trust milk jugs. Milk jugs are just not quite strong enough, and I had to learn that the hard way from experience. 2-liter Coke bottles, on the other hand, based on my experience, seem to be working just fine. But this is why you need to go back and look at your preps, because were I not constantly going back and double checking this kind of stuff, I could have been in a situation when I depended on that water and it wasn't there.